Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Potato, and here we check out the latest and the greatest strategy games each and every day of the week. Today, we're checking out city builders, and specifically, the best ones that will be coming out in 2024 and 2025. Now, this is a huge list, and I can guarantee that there is a bunch of games that you haven't seen elsewhere and that you probably haven't heard of. There's loads of new games on this list that have been announced since I did my last city builder breakdown. As ever, you can find the links to all the games down in the description below. I've also got a few quality bonus city builders at the end, in case you can't wait for some of the titles on this list. So stick around to the end to get the lowdown on some city builders that you can play right now. There's also a bunch of other great strategy games coming out this year in other subgenres, so check out my videos on the best upcoming tycoon games, best upcoming automation games, linked down in the description below. Speaking of, if a particular game strikes you as interesting, let me know in the comments so I know what you guys would like me to play on the channel. Right, without further ado, let's get to the games. Nova Roma is a city builder set in the heart of ancient Rome. As the once great Roman Empire falls into decadence and decay, you lead a small band of citizens in search of a new land to build Nova Roma, a bastion for all that was once good in the Empire. Starting from a humble village, you must appease the gods with grand temples, satiate your citizens' needs, and build a society that will be the envy of the world for millennia to come. A wise city planner knows how to harness the world around them, erect massive dams and aqueducts to control the flow of water as you reshape the land into artificial watersheds and reservoirs. The water mechanics really set this title apart for me. Seek distant resource deposits and build infrastructure to transport raw materials and process goods across massive stretches of untamed territory. Will you strike a delicate balance between growing the urban sprawl of your city and the risks of rapid expansion, or will your hubris risk the wrath of the gods and nature itself? This looks like the full city builder package and much more to me. It looks unbelievably promising. It's made by the developers of Kingdoms and Castles, and it's published by Hooded Horse, which is super exciting. There's already a huge amount of hype behind this game, and I'm really stoked to see more. No word on a specific release date yet, but it's coming in 2024. That is all we know. This one is a little bit of a late addition to this list. Kaiserpunk is a city builder set in an alternative 20th century. It's just been announced at the time of writing, and boy oh boy, the premise of this one is super cool. This is a grand city builder with a focus on production management and logistics. This game challenges you to build and manage a city-state whilst expanding your influence across a dynamic and ever-changing global map. It's more of a city-state builder than a pure city builder. I absolutely love how focused this game looks to be on production chains and global conquest. There's apparently 100 resources to mine, farm, refine, and manufacture, and of course, all of these resources will help fuel your mighty war machine. I'm very interested to see how this all goes, and I'm also super pumped to see how the alternative history changes end up playing out. Of all the games on this list, I'm pretty irrationally excited for this one. I had no idea that I wanted to play it, but now that I know it exists, I absolutely do, and I suspect a lot of you watching this video will think similarly. Confirm my suspicions by leaving a comment below if you think this is going to be a sleeper smash hit. This is made by the developers of Patron, which is a pretty darn decent city builder, so Kaiserpunk has a bunch of potential in my eyes, and I'm really excited to see more development updates as the game progresses towards launch. Speaking of launch, that'll be happening at some point in 2024. No date yet, but you can bet your bottom dollar that I'll be having to play around with this one. Another of my hotly anticipated upcoming city builders, pun very much intended, is Frostpunk 2. Frostpunk 2 promises to be even more intense than its predecessor and is set 30 years after the events of the first game. The age of steam has passed, and now oil leads the way as humanity's newest salvation. However, with new threats on the horizon, the future of the city looks even grimmer than before. The original Frostpunk was a tough, challenging city builder. Playing through the campaign is a legitimately stressful experience. You'll never be able to save everyone, and it's a rare example of using narrative elements in a city builder to create a genuinely high-stakes game. That being said, I completely adored it. Frostpunk 2 is apparently going to go vastly beyond the scale of the first one. I've never been so excited to start freezing. When in 2024 is this one going to be released? I'm afraid I don't have the answer to that question. It'll be this year, but that's all we know. Infection-Free Zone isn't a straight city builder, it's more of a city rebuilder. It's a game set in a post-apocalyptic world where you can quite literally play on any city in the world using real geographical data. You take charge of a group of survivors from your chosen city and try to create a self-sustaining settlement by building, rebuilding, and readapting the buildings around you. But be careful, because when the night falls, you have to defend the zone from the infected, who are fast, strong, and aggressive. You can use your knowledge of the city to find useful resources such as food, medicine, and weapons, but beware of the dangers lurking in the dark. Infection-Free Zone is a game that combines strategy, simulation, and action in a pretty unique way. You can customize your base of operations, set up shelters and production facilities, adapt existing buildings to new needs, build new farms, power houses, and establish defenses with walls, gates, and towers. This is a game that will absolutely challenge your decision-making and planning skills, as well as your survival instincts. It's a game that will make you feel like you're living in a real zombie apocalypse. I really enjoyed my time with this game. When I played the demo linked up in the top right-hand corner of the screen, I'd strongly encourage you to keep an eye on this one. There is no word on a release date quite yet, but there is a prologue that you can check out right now to get a rough feel for the game. Is this the most hyped city builder in history? Maybe, but it's got a release date now. 26th of April, 2024 is when we're going to get to see Manor Lords properly. I will talk about this game as much as I possibly can. I am just so excited for it. Manor Lords is a medieval city building strategy game with a focus on visual and simulated realism. You grow your settlement, manage its politics and relations with other kingdoms, and fight in real-time battles, all whilst gathering resources and assigning jobs to your people. The game provides a gridless city building experience with full freedom of placement and rotation. Building mechanics are motivated by the growth of real medieval towns and villages where major trade routes and the landscapes influenced how settlements were shaped and developed. Manor Lords prioritizes historical accuracy wherever possible, using it to inform gameplay mechanics and visuals alike. Common medieval tropes are avoided in favor of historical accuracy in order to make the world feel more authentic, colorful, and believable. I've talked a bunch about how excited I am for Manor Lords. I genuinely can't wait for this title. The demo, in a very, very early stage when I checked it out, was one of the finest city builders that I have had the pleasure of playing. All eyes are set for the 26th of April, 2024. Can't wait. Build, manage, and grow your unique city in the skies. Traverse a vast and rich open world full of exotic technologies, relentless dangers, and many hidden treasures. Defend your inhabitants and the kingdoms below from destructive attacks. Only daring leaders can reforge the Airborne Empire. This is the city builder follow-up to Airborne Kingdom, which I really, really enjoyed. You're simultaneously charged with building a floating city and collecting all of the resources needed for the civilization to survive and thrive. It's such a great combination, and I'm a real sucker for sky-based city builders. The unique lift, balance, and propulsion mechanics return. However, a new foe has emerged. Pirates upend the city's tranquility, and players must defend their inhabitants and the kingdoms below from destructive attacks. Only clever and daring leaders can grow and protect their homes, seek out and destroy enemy strongholds, and finally, reunite the peoples of this world. This one will be arriving in your skies at some point in 2024, published by Strayfon, the developers of The Wandering Village. I've got some really high hopes for this one. In Laysara Summit Kingdom, you've got to build and expand your very own settlements in the high mountains. Carefully plan production chains and satisfy various needs of your three-caste society whilst dealing with mountain hazards such as weather breakdowns and avalanches. Start in the lowlands and work your way up the mountains, building increasingly complex villages and outposts along the way. I played the demo of Laysara, top right-hand corner if you're interested, and I'm very excited with what I saw. This game has the potential to be truly unique in the city building genre. Honestly, a mountain city builder is pretty flippin' cool. So yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up from me. I'd advise you to check out the demo, which is available right now, wishlisted if you're interested, because this one is one that you're not going to miss. Originally, this one was set to release in 2023. However, it has been pushed back to coming soon, which according to a recent Steam announcement means that it will be coming at some point, hopefully in early 2024. Earth of Oryn is a city builder set in a medieval world filled with story and heart. Build your kingdom however you see fit. Will you inspire and lead your people with kindness and generosity, or command them with an iron fist and crush dissent beneath your heel? Starting from nothing, you must shape your kingdom perfectly to your vision whilst managing the needs and wants of your people. Build great cities, mighty castles, bustling towns, and the laws and moral systems to guide them all. Raise and manage armies to protect your kingdom from your enemies in real-time battles, manage your economy, gather resources, trade with other civilizations, and research new technologies. I am really excited to see how this one turns out. I am a total sucker for castle builders, if you like. It's got a great sort of voxely style, art style, and it looks to be really, really interesting. This one is listed as coming soon, so still no word on a release time frame yet. However, over the course of the last year, this game is now being published by Strathon Publishing, which are also publishing Airborne Empire. So very, very cool indeed. Can't wait to see how this one turns out. This is one of those games that, honestly, probably shouldn't exist, but is kind of amazing now that it does. Super Fantasy Kingdom is a roguelike city builder set in a relaxing fantasy world. Explore and rebuild your kingdom to bring it back to its former glory. Defeat hordes of monsters with an always unique team of defenders. Harvest, build, mine, cook, brew, feed, and grow, and be prepared to watch it all burn. This game is a pretty much straight cross between like Vampire Survivors and a city builder, and yet it works so fantastically. You'll be building a grand city up again and again, but each time it gets destroyed, you'll be able to rebuild it a little bit stronger. What a great concept for a game. This one is due out in 2024, being delayed from 2023, and is being published by Hooded Horse, which is always a good sign. If you're looking for a game quite similar to Frostpunk but without the frost, then I have a recommendation for you. New Cycle is a strategy city builder survival game set in 2073. After a solar flare might wiped out most of the technology and civilization on Earth, you have to lead your people to rebuild a new society whilst facing the challenges of a harsh and unpredictable world. You can craft, build, manage, and survive in a diesel punk-esque setting where you have to balance your resources, morale, and workforce. You can also research forgotten technologies and enact societal rules to move humanity forward. New Cycle is a game that promises to bring a fresh, new life to the colony survival genre with its immersive narrative and mechanics. This game was planned to be released in Q2 of 2023 on Steam, but that has now been pushed back to coming soon. So we'll have to wait with regards to an announcement for a release date. If you're interested, though, keep an eye out on the page for a demo, which sort of sporadically becomes available. This is one that I am really, really, really hyped to see more of. Mini Settlers is a minimalistic city builder that disguises an automation game filled with expansive production chains. Settle islands, construct cities, and design efficient logistic networks to fulfill your building's needs and fuel population growth to adventure into new worlds. Build a well-connected network of roads, trains, and ports between your factories and cities to transport and fulfill any need they may have. But be careful not to overload your supply chain. You've got to grow and maintain all of the needs of your population at the same time as growing your cities. This is a great little game that will have you scratching your head on the best way to move a specific resource halfway across the map. You keep building, and suddenly everything stops working as you've stressed your network just a little bit too much. It's an excellent game. Certainly the demo was. Check out my video in the top right-hand corner. According to the developers, there's going to be a bunch of additional features in the full version of the game. No word yet on a release date, but you can bet that I'll absolutely be checking this one out. Synergy is a stylized city builder that just looks pretty darn wacky and pretty darn unique. Humans live on a hostile planet, and to ensure their survival, they've got to learn to survive in extreme weather conditions and in an environment that is not conducive to their settlement. Careful and pragmatic management of resources has become essential to the survival of the human race, as has the morale of the population. Manage weather, seasons, extreme conditions, and natural disasters, but build a city with the happiness of its inhabitants as your main goal. A super interesting concept, pretty darn cool art style. Since last talking about this game, it has actually got a release window. It is going to be arriving in Q1 of 2024, so wishlist it now because it is actually coming soon. Hollywood Animal is a city builder crossed with a tycoon game where you get to build up a movie studio. You could decide to build up a multi-billion-dollar monster that destroys everything in its path with blockbusters made strictly according to strict formulas, but this is absolutely not your only option. You could instead create a boutique studio and conquer the festivals with avant-garde directors. You could build up a trash factory, challenging good taste at every turn, filling the screens with blood and spit. This game doesn't tell you how to play or limit you in any way. Just have fun making movies and managing your studios as you try to keep things afloat. This one is arriving in 2024. I'm excited to see more details as the game progresses towards release. After a little bit of a development hiatus, Roman Triumph is officially coming soon. Roman Triumph is a survival city builder / colony sim inspired by classics such as Banished, Kingdoms and Castles, and more. Set in Roman times, you must lead your people, build a city from the ground up, and fortify it with walls, ballistas, archer towers, and other defenses to survive against the ferocious Hydra, Minotaur, the hordes of barbarians, the mighty Roman gods, and other mythological beasts. This one is set to release in Q3 of 2024, and the dev has noted on Twitter that a demo is hopefully coming soon. In United Penguin Kingdom, you've got to build your settlement and satisfy the needs of your penguins with better food, elegant decorations, entertainment venues, high-tech coolers, and luxury houses whilst dealing with killer whales and thief seals. Shape a settlement worthy of your penguins. Set up new energy generators to activate more houses, workplaces, and coolers. Build workplaces to produce materials, food, and medicine. Build defense towers against killer whales and those pesky seals. Killer whales, of course, will attack your buildings and try to destroy them. Seals come up to the food storage and try to steal food. What a strange and unique looking game. This is actually made by the same developers who made Oxygen, a post-apocalyptic city builder, all about, you guessed it, oxygen consumption. I enjoyed that one a bunch, and I'm sure United Penguin Kingdom is going to be interesting, if nothing else. There's a free prologue which is coming in mid-December of 2023, and the full game will be arriving in Q1 or Q2 of 2024. Ascent of Ashes is a city builder set in a post-apocalyptic dystopia. Build and defend your base, manage your survivors, engage raiders, aliens, remnant soldiers, and other factions in real-time with pause combat, or use stealth to outwit them. Explore the massive world, survive at all costs, build your survivors a base where they can rest and trade stories between adventures. Farm crops, tame alien beasts, incorporate salvage technology, and fortify your home against hostile intruders. This is a great-looking game. I'm super stoked to see how it turns out. It's got a really gritty vibe, which I'm really excited to dive into. Not long to wait for this one, as it is arriving in Q1 of 2024. There's been a huge increase in the number of underwater city builders recently. Abyssals is another one, and honestly, keep them coming because I think they're great. Abyssals is a survival city builder set in the dark depths of an inhospitable planet. Build your underwater colony, explore where light can't reach, and hunt for scarce resources. Expand your infrastructure and power your lamps as danger lies in the deep, hidden in the dark. In the wake of Earth's devastation, humanity sent various expeditions to Abyss 62E, a newly discovered ocean-class planet and the only hospitable one within its reach. The objective of the Abyssal colonization project was to lay the foundations of a new human civilization. However, it quickly became apparent that this was not the underwater heaven we expected it to be. Sounds rather ominous, doesn't it? This one is still listed as coming soon on the Steam page, so we might be waiting a while for it. Let's hope not, because it sounds very good indeed. A dinosaur city builder, or indeed a city builder with dinosaurs, is how I would pitch Lixtoco to you. This is a game that is in the style of classic isometric city builders of the sort of glory days. Thinking Pharaoh, thinking Caesar 3, thinking Nebuchadnezzar. There's not really much to go on with regards to this game. It is still in development. It is being conducted by a single developer. You can check out all of the sort of details that we do know about through the developer's Twitter page linked down below. Definitely follow over there if this is one that you're interested in. Fata Deum is a god game where you not only build settlements but compete with other gods for influence. Manage your mana to manipulate your settlements, devotees, and the fabric of reality itself. As you amass more power, you'll be able to pick more unearthly feats to wield. During the day, use your influence on the mortals. Will you bless and inspire them into work or strike fear into their hearts with terrifying visions? But be wary, the townsfolk have their own free will. At night, you can manipulate settlements, instruct the mortals to build you mighty temples for worship, farms and lumber mills so that they may prosper, or even to ruin other villages. This game has had a demo sort of sporadically, it makes an appearance occasionally on Steam, and we can expect a full release at some point in 2024. The Emperor has chosen you as a new provincial governor. Design the city of your dreams, admiring its details from a bird's eye view. Take care of your people, develop efficient production chains, and trade with other landlords. Ensure your population's survival through harsh winters and disasters. This is Celestial Empire. This game looks absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to start building and just dive in. I checked out the demo of this game, top right hand corner if you're interested, and really enjoyed it. This one is arriving in 2024 after being pushed back from a 2023 release date. Check out the demo on Steam or the prologue also on Steam. Siege of Irdor is a city-building strategy game set in dark medieval times where fantasy and reality collide. Build by day and defend sieges by night to survive against the armies of darkness. Design, build, and expand your kingdom from a little village into a huge stone castle. Construct houses, farms, production plants, manufacturing buildings, and other buildings needed to let your kingdom grow. Build walls, towers, gates, and structures to watch for upcoming enemies. Collect resources from the environment using various building structures and upgrade those buildings to make them more efficient. What a great little concept. I'm really excited to see where this one goes. No word on a release date quite yet, so it looks like we'll be waiting a while longer. Darfall is a strategy survival city builder with RPG elements. You lead your hero with a band of warriors to defend your settlement, explore corrupted land, and craft new items. Expand your settlement and defeat the darkness coming from everywhere. This game has so much heart. It's super promising, in my opinion. I really like the demo, which is still available if you're interested in checking it out over on Steam right now. The release date is still to be determined, but the developers did note that it would be coming out in Q1 of 2024, although that hasn't been officially announced, so we'll just wait to see if that happens. This game has undergone a little bit of a rebranding exercise of late. This is Of Life and Land, and it formerly used to be called Circle of Kerzoven. I've actually checked it out on the channel before, so look for that if you're interested. Whatever the case, this is a charming little sort of settlement building strategy game paired with a rich simulation experience. Every animal and plant tries to find their place in nature whilst you lead your villagers into the future. Expand to different regions, trade with local factions to gain your required resources. This type of game absolutely fits into the sort of Banished-like style of game, which is no bad thing at all. It's got seasons, factions, a whole bunch of buildings to explore. This one is coming in 2024, and there is a demo up right now, so play that if indeed you're interested in this title. Bulwark Falconeer Chronicles is one of the most unique city builders on this list. Paint the landscape with ever more complex and stunning fortifications simply by building up from a humble wooden structure to colossal defensive command towers. Connect your towers through a freeform network of walkways and battlements to supply resources and defenses. Build a refuge for the scattered people of this broken world, and they will build their houses and industry powering your ambitions. This is a weird one. Feels great to play. I played the demo / the alpha. Really enjoyed it. Would absolutely recommend, but there's no word on a release date quite yet. Become an orc warchief and fight for the survival of your race. Rebuild your village and train your warriors. Gather resources and craft your weapons. Raise your war banner and gather the horde. You play as a young warchief lusting for blood, and your warriors want revenge. Reclaim your lands, rebuild your villages, and bring doom on your enemies. Raise our war banner and gather the horde. This looks to be an interesting sort of city builder slash combat sort of combination. I'm really interested to see more. Very, very cool indeed. This one is set to release in Q1 of 2024 after being pushed back from a 2023 release timeframe. Angkor, the Holy City, is a religious city builder, presumably set in ancient Cambodia. Bit thin on the ground for details on this one, as it's a solo developer that is doing the heavy lifting. The only thing that we know is that it's a city builder, and that it focuses on sort of religion and the various gods that oversee your island. An interesting concept, and I'll be following this game along the course of its development. There's not even a Steam page for this one yet, so follow the dev on Twitter if indeed you're interested in this title. In King of the Dwarves, you get to build an epic kingdom inside a mountain in this underground city builder. Mine and build in a vast procedurally generated 3D world, gather resources, research technology, train warriors and engineers, forge weapons, fight monsters, and manage hundreds of units. Become the King of the Dwarves. An underground city builder with dwarves and automation. Honestly, this is just, it's so unbelievably up my street. This street could be named after me. This one looks to be in a very early stage of development, has no release date associated with it quite yet, but it's definitely one to watch. Apo Builder is a post-apocalyptic city builder where you have to scavenge and fight for resources as everything counts. Restore civilization on the ashes of a fallen world and explore the wastelands to gather resources, protect and take care of your people. I checked out the demo of this one a while ago, was pleasantly impressed. It's got a nice vibe for a post-apocalyptic style game, and it's coming to Steam in Q1 of 2024. Did you enjoy Before We Leave? It was like a hex-based city builder set in a gorgeous world with space whales and stuff. Anyway, I thought it was excellent. This is by the same developers, and instead of being set on a planet, you're on the back of one of those aforementioned space whales. Building a city on the back of a sentient creature comes with its own set of challenges, but as you build your relationship and travel across the galaxy, you'll come across great opportunities for exploration and stable expansion. Meet the other species, pursue the needs and wants of your peeps, and seek the truth about their ancestors and the space whales alike. This is Beyond These Stars, and this one is due out in 2024, also going to be published by Hooded Horse, which is very, very exciting indeed. Roots of Yggdrasil is a roguelike city-building game set after Ragnarok. Build settlements, explore the 9 realms, and upgrade your deck to reach the top of the big old tree. Choose from a diverse cast of characters to lead your expeditions, build settlements, explore remnants of Midgard, and gather resources to save your clan from oblivion. During each expedition, you'll be chased by an endless void devouring the world. You must activate and use the portal on each map before your settlements are swallowed. I had a look at the demo for this game. It's really good. It's got a lot going on, and it's got a release date. This one will be arriving on Steam on the 24th of January, 2024. Folklands is a relaxing settlement builder with simulated citizens. Lead your people, provide their shelter, guarantee the food supply, protect against threats of nature, and pay attention to well-being to ensure that your folks are happy, employed, and safe. Locate the promised land, dwell there, and prosper. To flourish, you'll be required to utilize all of the available resources that are made available to you. Create a settlement that will be fit for your folks, a real Folklands. Another game that I've checked out the demo for, this one was a little rough around the edges, but very, very promising nonetheless. No word on a release date yet, as it is still listed as coming soon. In Primitive Society Simulator, you play as the leader of an ancient tribe inspired by ancient Chinese legends, as well as games such as RimWorld, Dawn of Man, and Stone Age. You get to travel back to the barbaric era and lead people to gather food, make tools, sew clothes, hunt and fish, cultivate farmland, the whole shebang. Seems pretty cool. There's also a bunch of unique elements like animal husbandry and sort of long quests as well. This one is coming in Q1 of 2024, so hopefully we don't have too long to wait. Thrive. Heavy Lies the Crown is a medieval fantasy city builder that forces you to make dire decisions to ensure that the survival of your kingdom and the people that you lead. Volition is a valuable tool in your inventory as you build your city, shape the land, and fortify it as you see fit. Burdened by the weight of your decisions, a seemingly trivial choice can shape your legacy and determine if you're a soulless tyrant or a fair and just monarch. Will your kingdom merely survive, or do you have the resilience and dedication to make it thrive? This is another title that I'm sort of getting Frostpunky style vibes from, which is good. 2 thumbs up in that regard. The setting of this one really interests me. It is slated for release at some point in 2024 after being pushed back from 2023. Hopefully it won't be too long. Dorado, the Golden City Builder, is a single-player city-building economic strategy game that is set in the mysterious lands of pre-Columbian Latin America, where wealth does not always lead to happiness, and the anger of the gods can bring disaster to anyone who is not favorable to them. Plan the expansion of your city in a way to achieve the best economic efficiency, skillfully manage the urban planning of your city, as each and every building has a huge impact on the course of the game. One to watch, I'm sure you'll agree. This one is coming in 2024, slightly delayed from its 2023 release timeframe. The demo left a little to be desired, so hopefully the kinks can be worked out before launch. Elaborate Lands is a relaxing turn-based city builder. It combines unique gameplay mechanics with elements from 4X, city builder, and puzzle builder style games. You need to build cities, gather resources, research technologies, and expand your territory. Different maps and biomes offer near-endless replayability. Fundamentally, it's all about getting the right building in the right place. It's simple to grasp the concept, yet it's a little tougher to master and thrive building a big old city. I really enjoyed my time with this one. The demo, anyway. It's a bit different, it's a bit out there, it's very quirky, and it's very much one that I'm looking forward to. Full release is coming sometime in 2024. Complex Sky is a futuristic city-building game with a unique architecture system. Build the city both ways, up and down. The world is devastated by pollution, and it's up to you to create a fully self-sustainable city in the skies, and populate it with human settlers. Create a world unrestricted by gravity, unite buildings into wondrous formations, gather resources, create production chains, and develop the world's ecosystem, all to build a fully automated, self-sustainable city amongst the clouds. It's unique, it's great, it's still listed as coming soon. I enjoyed this one. Definitely wishlist this one if you're interested in like sky type city builders, I guess. Sticking with vertical city builders, let's chat about Vertical Kingdom. Vertical Kingdom is a roguelike that mixes in cities and cards. Due to the fact that there's not much space, you have to build, you guessed it, vertically, with the help of platforms and other constructions. You'll go on expeditions to obtain resources that will help you improve your camp for your next trips. It's got a super unique aesthetic, this one. I also played the demo of this one, enjoyed my time with it. This one is going to be arriving at some point in 2024. In Pagan Age, you've got to lead the families of the first pagan tribes to conquer virgin lands inhabited by mythical creatures, obtain building materials, win favor with the gods, and use ancient beliefs and occult practices to create a home for your people in a harsh and hostile world. There's honestly not a super large amount of information with regards to this game. There's also no release time frame, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Mythos Build and Survive is a combination of a classic real-time strategy game and a city builder, and it's based on Slavic mythology. Grow your settlement, build up the economy, army, and explore maps guarded by mythical creatures and other clans. Give your workers a roof over their heads and a good supper, and they'll be building a thriving settlement for you. Another one with not too much information, however, we do know that this one is planning to release in 2024 at some unspecified point, so hopefully we'll have a little extra info in the coming months ahead. In City of Robots, you build your own robo-city from scratch. Take on the role of an artificial intelligence and be in control of every process that takes place in your always living metropolis. Develop new technologies, trade with humans, and expand your metropolis. By controlling every citizen, vehicle, and building, you need to evolve. Explore the environment in a search for resources, trade with people, and keep the cycle going. Pretty cool concept, as I'm sure you'll probably agree, but execution on that concept is going to be absolutely critical. No word on a release date yet, so I will let you know when I hear more. Metropolis 1998 is a fresh take on simulation games from the 90s and 2000s, whilst applying modern-day features to the genre. As the player, you'll be able to see inside your citizens' homes, featuring 2 different camera modes, classic isometric and top-down. Demand is no longer zone-based, but driven by your citizens' specific needs. As the mayor, you'll be able to set aside land and designate where specific businesses can open up their doors. Just looking at the in-game footage for this title brings back nostalgic memories of an earlier age. This title is clearly still in an early stage of development, but it's one to watch if you like city builders, especially the classics. Viking City Builder is a classic city building game with elements of real-time strategy sparkled into it. Make a new place for your Viking brothers and sisters to live. Build homes, longhouses, boating houses, ritual houses, and a whole bunch of other buildings from the era as well. Send your people to work or hunt for food in the wilderness with combat and real-time strategy elements. This game promises to be all about conquest and city building, which is a great combination. No word on a release date quite yet, but put this on the watch list for sure. Spirit and Stone is pitched as a journey, that is, a kingdom's open journey from a small village to a patchwork of bustling castles. Build your kingdom block by block, explore the world, grow your industries, and watch your citizens thrive in your creations. Do it your way, there's no wrong choices. With all the classic city builder and colony sim management mechanics, you'll be managing a castle full of citizens in no time. With a simplistic art style, yet an intriguing premise, there's a demo on the way according to the developer on Twitter, and I'll be checking this one out when it comes out at an unspecified time in the future. Builders of Greece is a management city builder that puts your skills to the test and where you have to prove yourself as a fine ruler of the ancient Greek city. Throughout your journey, you'll face many challenges, unexpected events, and promising opportunities. Make world-shaping decisions, command your subjects, erect magnificent structures, and make your polis the most glorious place in the whole ancient world. There's a prologue available for this game right now that you can check out, and the full game will be arriving at some unspecified time soon. This is another Builders game in a sort of similar vein to Builders of Greece, except it is set in Egypt. I'm not really going to spend too much time on this one, except to say that there is a prologue available now, and the full game is also coming soon. Whenever I cover this game, I always check to see if there's been any updates, because I've been watching this one for a long time. City of Atlantis is an isometric city building survival game set in the world of the mythical land of Atlantis. According to legend, the city far surpassed other nations in terms of scientific, military, and economic advancement. One day, however, it vanished from the face of the earth. Now, after centuries, it re-emerges from the ocean depths. What will you do to protect this re-emerged wonder of the world? Unfortunately, there's not much more information from the last time that I reported on this one. We still don't have any dates to go on, but I will keep hoping and keep watching. The Settlings is a relaxing settlement builder and resource management game in retro pixel art style. Gather, deliver, build, and fight, all of this at your own pace with atmospheric music and many unique mechanics. This is clearly a Lemmings-inspired city builder, and it looks great, super unique, and I do believe that it has the opportunity to be a truly special little title. This one is listed as coming soon. It's being developed by one chap, so I expect it'll be a while before it actually does release. That being said, you can always drop a wishlist to support the game in the meantime. Ancient Polis is a city builder set in ancient Greece. Build and manage your city, that's what Polis translates to, apparently, and experience and shape the life of the ancient Greeks on your own terms. Lay the foundations for the first democracy, listen to your people, and help them with their groundbreaking inventions. Build your city for the normal population, for the aristocrats, and for the intellectuals. Make sure that everyone has a job and everyone has a roof over their heads, otherwise a lot of trouble will quickly arise. Make sure you always keep the gods happy and the progress of science going. This game looks to have it all. It's supposedly coming out in 2024 according to the Steam page, which is great because I'll absolutely be checking this one out. Humanica is a simulation game of an ancient settlement. Survive, investigate, build, trade, and discover. You'll have to navigate the arduous path of human development from the Paleolithic Age to the Iron Age. This game features a massive technology tree that will dramatically change your playstyle and transform the look of your settlement beyond recognition. I really enjoyed my time with the demo of this game. I do think that since the last time that I played, the scope of this game has increased pretty substantially, which is cool because this could be a great game. No word on a release date yet, but I'll be keeping an eye on this title. And last but not least, if all the city builders on this list are too stressful for you and you fancy a little break from managing bricks and logs, Well, have a look at Tinyglade. Tinyglade is a small, relaxing game about doodling castles. Explore gridless building chemistry and watch the game carefully assemble every brick, pebble, and plank. There's no management, combat, or wrong answers. Just kick back and turn forgotten meadows into lovable dioramas. It's very chill. There's no expectations. You just get to play. This chillaxing title is coming in 2024. So that's it for my jumbo list of upcoming city builders in 2024-2025. What did you think? Did anything stand out specifically? I'd love to hear what you like, what you're interested in playing in the comments down below. Please do let me know. Right, let's get to the bonus games, and let's do it quickly because this video has already gone long enough. Cities Skylines 2. I put this one in this category really more of a warning, rather than a recommendation at the time of writing. My recommendation would be not to play this one yet. In a few years, it's going to be a really good city builder. Right now, I'm afraid it is just not. Save yourself a headache, play the original, check out some of the DLC, or indeed check out any of my videos highlighting other great city builders. You can literally just sort of scroll through my channel and, you know, literally every other game is a city builder. Don't bother buying City Skylines quite yet. Hold off for a sale. I'm sorry, but I just needed to mention it here. It's one of the sort of biggest disappointment sort of city builders that I've played in a long time. It just doesn't play very well. Anyway, that's it. City Skylines, bonus game number 1. Moons of Arden is a interplanetary little city builder where you have to sort of look after little axolotl type humanoid things, and you need to make sure that they are able to survive and thrive on a variety of moons across solar systems. You need to set up little sort of interplanetary trade routes. It's just a really nice, tight city builder, one that I think is pretty consistently underlooked and overlooked, and I would really highly recommend checking it out if you're interested in getting your hands on a game that you can play right now. It's still in early access, no word on a sort of firm release date yet, but definitely 2 thumbs up for me. Micro Civilization. This is a quirky city builder. It is kind of like an idle city builder, except you have to be very, very concentrated when you play it, but it kind of looks like an idle city builder. You basically run and operate a city over a variety of like eras. You research technology, you send your little people on expeditions, and you know, the whole time you have to sort of click a button in order to get wood and wheat to feed your people. It really is quite a unique little title. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's actually out full release right now, so check it out if this is something that you're interested in. And the last game that I've got on my bonus game list is Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. You've probably heard of this game, but I'm going to pitch it to you yet again. This is much more than a city builder. It is an economy. It is an economy simulator. It is a city-state builder, necessarily more than just a single city. You can actually build multiple cities over the course of your country. You deal with literally every facet of the economy. You produce food, you produce clothing, you produce beer, you produce steel, you produce aircraft. This game has it all. It is currently in early access. There are regular, substantial updates. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I had to include it on this list of bonus games because it is literally just that good. Definitely recommended from me. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you ever so much for watching. This has been an absolute bumper video to make. It's been an absolute bumper video to write, a bumper video to record, and a bumper video to edit, but I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you have found games that you would otherwise be completely unaware of. Again, please do let me know in the comments below because it will help shape my coverage of those games, on these games, on the channel over the course of the next weeks, months, and years ahead. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching. Check out the Patreon if you're interested in getting early access to these videos. Help support me and the channel, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.